We've looked at the exposures that we observe in 0 days, and naturally, because they get traded on the day that they expire, they're not part of an overnight cycle, and thereby no margin gets collected. What we've put forward is a proposal that looks at prior months' peak exposures of certain members, calculates an average, and uses that as a pre-funding amount to capture, this activity that otherwise does not get captured through overnight. If we look at the last 13 months, the overall margin impact seems to be roughly 1.5% of the total margin pool on what we're talking about as it relates to the specific proposal. The good thing is the industry as a whole recognize this is something that needs to be covered, that needs to be addressed, and I think that's where we're trying to make sure that we align on how to take care of that.
What are your insights on the growth of short-dated options?
The positive thing about the, let's say, growth that we've seen is that it's a controlled growth. So I think the industry has adapted. We are able to process the volumes. We see a general interest that goes beyond just one particular group. So we see a healthy growth both on the retail side as well as institutional, and obviously the market makers that are the other side. As we look forward and we think about the future as into what other areas this could expand into, I think there's some concern about if this were to move into single name shorter dated. That's where there's some concern about the operational risks that are involved also for some of the retail investors. So I think there's a call to as an industry, think about how we would evolve and support that. From an OCC perspective, we are ready, technically to support that. But I think that's something that, we should think about how to, expand any further from where we are today. Volumes that we've seen this year are obviously significant. We've seen healthy growth year over year. Right now, we're about 8% higher than we were year to date last year. And, some of that can definitely be attributed also to, general interest in shorter dated options and 0 days specifically.
How is Ovation's development progressing?
We're obviously taking very much care also of our current production environment. So we've invested heavily into, processing capacity. So we have no concerns with, current volumes or, volume increases that we've seen. October has been an absolute record month, but that has not posed a constraint on our current environment. So we've made sure that we always keep that up to date. And as it relates to Ovation, we're actually coming into very exciting stages right now. So in July, we started our first external test cycle. In October, we started our second testing cycle, which exposes all our clearing members and exchanges to the entire clearing platform as it relates to all the screens, getting access, sending in files, receiving data, and they're testing that as we speak. We have high participation rates. As we go into next year, this is where we expect to see both all the risk system getting integrated and exposing that to our members, but also starting our parallel run to enable us to launch in 2025. Right now, we're on schedule to launch in 2025. Things are progressing. We'll see how all the testing goes. There's always surprises that can come there, but right now things are going well.
How is OCC improving options education?
We have obviously the Options Industry Council, which is our organization that takes care of unbiased education as it relates to options. We feel very strongly about that, and the team has been adding significant content as it relates to the portfolio of things that we offer. On one hand, we have podcasts that the team present, and they have explain concepts, the risks around options. We've also recently launched an investor guide to the options disclosure document, which is obviously a pretty lengthy and complex document. This is used as more like a guide on how to read and quickly understand and grasp the risks around options and what they're used for. And then third, we've also launched the Options Industry Academy, which has tailor-made programs that people can follow online that are built around following at your own pace, that explain products and certain strategies, and that we will be expanding on going forward.